Hey, welcome back to the shop. This is Zach over at NB Woodworks. Today I'm doing a little casting with some stabilized koa wood. So, about a month ago I went over to Hawaii for vacation and we found Aloha Woods, and they had tons of koa and all kinds of other local and tropical hardwoods there. And they also had a bin full of kind of scraps basically, and it was like the worthless wood casting bin. It was perfect for what I do. So I grabbed, not a lot of it, but I grabbed quite a bit and shipped it home. And finally got a couple projects that needed koa wood, basically. So stabilized some chunks up and made some blanks. So the two projects that I'm working on with this stuff, one of them is a birthday gift for my mom. I wanted to make her a pen. She loves Hawaii as well. She also loves the Royal Hawaiian Hotel, which is the pink hotel over on Oahu. They go there all the time. So made up some blanks that have pink and a little bit of white pearl in there with the koa. And then I also, kind of the impetus for this, the koa was really supposed to be just personal stuff. I wasn't going to make blanks and sell it, but I had a customer that needed fabulous blanks, basically. And so I said, well, okay, I got some koa, one of those things. And I knew that the project that she was going to be making with this, it was going to be really a nice project, and it required some nice wood. So I said, okay, I'll stabilize some up and we'll cast it. And so that's most of the casting that's in the video, is those two. And all those are is white pearl with koa. Just kind of a simple thing, but simple and elegant type thing. And then, like I said, turning a pen for my mom's birthday, which is, luckily it was in September, so I'm a little late, but I didn't have any koa ready. So the turning is actually going to be her pen. So I guess we'll roll right into it. I'll just kind of show you what I did. There's not a lot of detail necessarily with the casting, but I'll kind of show you how I arranged it. I'm going to speed through the stabilizing because I already have some stabilizing videos, but some people might like to do that, or might like to see that. So we'll get right into it, stabilizing the koa and then casting some of it, and then turning up a pen real quick. So this might be kind of a speedy, lots of sped up footage, I guess, because there's lots of stuff. It takes a while to do this, but I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. I'll kind of talk about the pen. Okay, so we got our koa all stabilized and ready to go. I'm going to be using this, I call it my 6 blank mold. Typically, I would cut it this way and I can get 6 blanks out of this after cutting. And 540 grams is what of pure resin will fill this and produce, 3/4 inch blanks. Now, in this case, I'm actually going to be turning it, and this is something that when you're embedding objects, you got to really know which way is is the cut gonna go? And I also like to kind of pre-plan. I like to say, okay, you know, pick some chunks out and kind of arrange them. You know what the kind of general dimensions are gonna be. Arrange them so you know which chunks are gonna fit where, and you don't have to kind of just willy-nilly throw them in or run into problems. You know, some of these things are too long, and I'd have to put them crooked and all this stuff, so it's best to just pick the chunks out, kind of have a plan a little bit. In the end, you know, they just kind of go where they want, sort of, but you can kind of pre-engineer that idea or the concept beforehand, know what you're doing, then you're not worried about what's happening when you're mixing the resin, which is not fun. So in this case, I said this is a 540 gram mold. I'm actually going to cut that about 75%. I could probably cut it 50% because I'm going to put about 50% wood in here, but 75% is not going to be too little. I know that for sure, and you definitely don't want to undershoot the resin. So I guess let's get started. I'm going to kind of look at this stuff a little bit, kind of have a plan, know which chunks I'm going to be putting in this mold, and then we'll mix the resin and cast it. One thing, I'm going to be mixing clear resin, and I'm going to put pearlescent powder in it. It's just, that's all that's going on, no colors or anything. So let's get started. So let's crack this guy open and see what we got. All right, so here we go. I maybe could have poured a little bit more resin in there. Might be a little bit low, but I'm definitely going to get 3/4 inch blanks out of this. So I'm going to be cutting it long ways, and we'll come back and see what the blanks look like. All right, well, I got them cut out, and man, these are some of the best blanks I have ever made or seen, I guess, in my life. The koa in this, like I said, I bought it $2 a pound or something like that. They were just junk cutoffs, and it's all just figured crazy. It's amazing. It just looks beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I still have a box left. I have the other half of this order in the other pressure pot, so I still have lots of koa left for myself. I'm going to make some blanks up. I'm not going to go through the process, but I'm just going to cut to me turning the pen when I get there. I haven't made it yet. So hold tight and we'll see what these things look like turned up. All right, well, I am stoked about these blanks. The koa turned out just amazing. It was like exhibition grade figure in these things, and it was really just worthless wood. I mean, this is the kind of the thing with pens and worthless wood. I mean, if you can cast it or stabilize it, I mean, it just, some of these things that are around knots and all that stuff, it's by far the best figure, and it just goes to show casting does, you know, give you a lot of opportunities. Now, I didn't get to turn any of the white and koa ones. Those all went to an order. But obviously I did get my mom's pen done with these pink ones, and I am very, very happy with this pen. I used the Virage kit, which I don't know exactly where I got it, but it's a rollerball pen, and I wanted to make her a rollerball, but some of the rollerball pen kits are pretty big and they're heavier, significantly heavier. The one that I carry is a lot heavier than this one, and so I think this is a really good kit for women, you know, for rollerball. type of kit for women or people with small hands, stuff like that. I think it has a little bit more feminine lines on it, but I'm happy with it. Pretty awesome kit. The turning went pretty well. I kind of was switching back and forth. Koa, stabilized wood on, I have a Benjamin's Best gouge that sometimes I use, and I kind of was switching back and forth between, the traditional gouge and carbide and messing around with different stuff. But everything went pretty well with the turning. I had some problems with the finish. My pen mandrel must be bent, which I don't know what I do to these things, but I like turning between centers, the between center bushings. So you just basically have the two centers, and you only get to do one kit at a time, or one side of a blank, so the cap or the bottom, one at a time, but it's so much more accurate. What I was finding was the mandrel must have been out of round, and it was wobbling because I was burning through when I was sanding on the further right, furthest from the headstock side, which if it is out of round or bent, basically, it's going to wobble more on the farther end. So what I ended up having to do was just take the bushings, which were supposed to be meant for a pen mandrel, on the mandrel, kind of whatever style bushings. I took them off of there and just stuck them between centers and finished it up. Everything was fine. Everything kind of trued up at that point. So got it on, no problems after that. But beautiful finish. One thing that has actually seriously, significantly increased the polish on my acrylics as well as CA finishes is using micro mesh. I tried using that stuff like years ago when I first got into pen turning, and it didn't work. I didn't get good results, and I just said this stuff's expensive and never touched it again, basically. Well, I decided on the recommendation of a few other people to try it out again, just for the heck of it. And I have to be honest, it is by far the best finish that I've gotten on a finish or on acrylics ever. It is just dead clear, zero scratches. You can even hit it with a little bit of polish after the fact, but off the highest grit, which is like something like 12,000 grit, it's clear. It's perfect. So if you haven't been using micro mesh and for acrylics, I'm happy with it. I think the difference is I'm spending a little bit more time on each grit. I've got a bucket of water. I'm cleaning the pads often. So I think it was just a little bit of experience helped, but man, they work great. So I just wanted to kind of share that. So anyway, I guess that's about it. I'll get a couple pictures of this guy up so you can kind of get some close-up pictures of the pen as well as the blanks. I have some more pictures of those. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. I love doing this. Now, one thing I do want to mention is I don't have Koa. Again, that was kind of my private reserve. I didn't buy enough to sell it. So, but I do plan, after seeing these results, I do plan to go and buy a lot more Koa and start offering Koa cast blanks. So I need to talk to Aloha Woods, and when I can figure out, when they have a quantity that they can send me of those kind of chunks, the really good figure stuff, the junk wood basically, but the worthless wood stuff, I'm going to get a large box, have them ship it over, and when I do that, I'll start selling some Koa blanks. But until then, I don't have enough to actually sell, list any. So anyway, if you have any comments or questions, you can leave those down below. You can always email me at zach@nvwoodworks.com. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.